You out. Okay, we'll go ahead and let head coach James Whitford open with a opening comment.
Just say it was a really hard-fought game. The game was. I felt like it was really hard for us from the beginning on, and there weren't many things that we would have felt. I would have felt like we're going according to plan on either end of the floor for a while, and I was really proud of our guys' competitive character and their fight, because we weren't in this because and we didn't have a chance to win because of adjustments or things like that. We had a chance to win because these guys really fought. I thought they had a real will to win and didn't give up. And I really disappointed we didn't win because I knew we were more than capable, but really proud of the effort of the players on the floor.
We'll start with questions for Taché Teague and also Jeremy Tyler. Please raise your hand with questions. We'll get their microphone over to you.
Teague, just what did
It's on. Go ahead.
Taché, just what did it feel like to have that career high, but although you were unfortunately able to get the win?
I mean, I wasn't worried about it at the time. I was just trying to get back on defense, do anything to help our team win, and just trying to cut the lead down.
Taja, coming in off the bench today and leading the teams in points like that. So, what was it like coming in like that and just seeing how the guys in front of you weren't really producing at the beginning and then just taking over?
We have a great group of guys that start the game, and when I came in, I just try to follow the game plan and keep doing as Coach said. And if I was open, shoot it. So, it seemed like that's just what I kept trying to do, just follow the game plan.
And then Jeremy, similar question there. The bench today really scored 41 points. So, what was it like coming off the bench like that and putting up those numbers, even though you guys didn't come through in the end?
Well, we were just we just like Taché said, we were sticking to the game plan. When we were open, we just shot it, and I guess it was falling for us today, and we just happened to score more points than the starters, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it was just so that we can win the game, most of all, really.
Coach, this is your second game against Akron where you kind of took it down to the wire for the future.
Let's go ahead and finish with the students first, and then we'll get Coach Whitford. Okay. Any further questions for our student athletes?
Excuse me. Anyway, Taché, so you came in there and Akron's got some real big guys there, especially Johnson there, and I know you in particular didn't really match up with him. But how tough was this game and matching up with Akron, especially in this environment that's real heavy Akron crowd?
I didn't think the crowd had anything to do with it. I just try to do what I do best. I think play defense and just try to stop him, try to make every catch hard, make everything he did hard, try to give it him all.
Jeremy, you were here when you guys won 7 games a few years ago and get to the brink of going to a MAC championship game. How encouraging is that for you, knowing that you're coming back and you got a chance to do it again?
It's really encouraging. I mean, I know we're not going to have Franco next year and the rest of our seniors and Ryan, but I think we have a great group of younger guys, and like myself, I'll be a senior next year, and then the rest of our team, I think we'll be back next year, definitely.
Obviously, Coach Whitford talks about culture a lot. Just how much have you seen in the competitive character and the things you guys talk about all the time? How much have you seen that stuff kind of evolve since you've been here? And I guess how much does that play into your encouragement about going into next season?
Well, when I first got here, we were kind of like the ground base of our starting our culture, and we had some things rough my freshman year, being 7 and 23. But the next year we got some more group of guys, and we just came together as a family more, and we listened. We believed in what Coach was telling us, and I think that's going to be like big for us for the next coming years when I'm gone, and just for everybody else.
Taché, what'd you learn from playing with a guy like Franco House?
To work every day. You know, it was in a day he took off. If he was coming in 5 in the morning, get shots up, he did everything he could to put himself in position to play well. So if anything I take from Franco is to always work hard, no matter how bad it seems.
We'll let you both head back to the locker room now, and we'll continue with questions for Coach Whitford. Thank you. Questions for Coach?
Coach, obviously turnovers there in that second half were an issue for you guys. When you think about them as a whole, where did you feel like the root of them were kind of coming from?
I thought two things, maybe three. I'd say one, they were extending and denying more on the wings than we would, certainly than they did in the first game. And there were a few passes that they choked off that were a little uncharacteristic, or I guess that we didn't adjust well to. And then secondly, we were pressing. We were having a tough time really getting anything going kind of within the flow on offense, and as a result, we had some guys just pressing, what we would call running through the pass and kind of speeding up and playing a little too fast to make good decisions. I thought that was the second thing, and I thought that was really the primary thing. And then a couple of them was, Taylor gave everything he could. I mean, for him to be here and play 28 minutes tonight, is amazing, when you think about what he went through yesterday. And the guy was in the hospital for 8 hours, and just for him to do that. But I also thought he wasn't his true self out there today. Some of the advanced passes that he thrown were just uncharacteristic, and it is what it is. I mean, we're thankful that we had him tonight, and he certainly helped our team. And but I thought that 4 turnovers he had normally would be 6 and 2, and it's just part of the game, and it was just part of what we had to go through. And when you're playing 3 games in 3 days, you don't get 72 hours to kind of get your feet underneath you. And so I thought those were the 3 primary things, that the largest factor in that being that we got sped up too much.
That slow start all year, is there something like next year you can think to get that slow starts that plagued this season not to happen next year?
I don't know. The first half of the year, we were dynamite in the first half, and we struggled in the second half, and we have had slow starts more of late, but I don't know that there's anything to it. I could be wrong.
Competing with Akron like this in 2 games this year, one of the best teams in the conference, does it feel like the future of the program is taking that next step, and that you could possibly be in that championship game next year?
I think that's what, to me, life is about, is getting better. And we've gotten better, but we have to get a lot better, from here. And I think we have to recognize that we've taken some strides, and at the same time, be incredibly hungry to try to take more steps, no question about that.
Oh, geez, that was loud, sorry. And talking about the future here, you had Tajay come in off the bench and lead you guys in scoring there, and I know, he's shown flashes of that before, but what does that say to you about next season, about the future, with performances like that?
Yeah, I mean, he's really talented. Tajay is. He's still kind of scratching the surface of where he could be, and I look at Quan Cheatham and Isaiah Johnson, and I think about Tajay Teague as a freshman and Trey Moses as a sophomore. Quan Cheatham and Isaiah Johnson is a very high bar, because you're talking about the player of the year in the second team, all-conference player. But, I like to think that those guys can both be all-conference players for us in time. And in terms of the future, I think, 7 of the 9 guys that are in our rotation will be back for next year. And we have 2 guys currently sitting out that are in our program who will be with us, and, the lion's share of our group. And we're going to really miss Franco because of what Tajay said. And we're going to really miss him as a player because he's a good player, but truth be told, we'll probably miss him as much as anything for his character and work ethic. But we have a lot coming back, and I feel like we have a chance to grow and build upon the steps that we've made.
And then, Tajay there, second on the team in minutes. And at what point was it where you, thought, let's ride it out and leave him in there?
With Tajay? You know, we were trying to, it probably, I don't know exactly when it was, but we were trying to take advantage of Isaiah Johnson in pick and rolls. And Franco missed a couple shots early from behind the arc, and I thought he got really tentative when he was able to get Isaiah Johnson, you know, to close out on him. And Isaiah Johnson was really kind of daring him to shoot for a long time. And so because of that, he couldn't really drive him, and he stopped shooting. And then he hit the 1-3, and I thought that opened it up for him a little bit, and he became a little more aggressive after that. Then he got Isaiah Johnson on a couple shot fakes. But point being, to answer your question with Tajay, is we were trying to find the right matchups for us. He's so good on the offensive end that you have to find a way to take advantage of him at the other end. You know, otherwise it's just suicide. And we were trying to find the right combinations, and it was hard for us because Taylor wasn't his usual self on pick and rolls. And so we were just having a tough time finding the right combinations. But fortunately, Tajay stepped up for us.
I know you're a next play kind of guy, but when you take a step back and look at the past 4 years and look at the way you kind of re-engage the community that's been starving for good basketball, how proud are you of what this program's been able to do?
I am proud. I'm proud of the fact that, you know, we've had back-to-back 20-win seasons, I think, for the first time since '92 or something like that. I mean, it's been a long time. And that certainly is a meaningful accomplishment, and I am proud of that. And but I'm also going to tell you I'm hungry, and I think we're all hungry. I think everyone in our program is hungry. You know, we've made significant steps, but no one's passing out rings when we get back to the hotel. And I think we both have to acknowledge the steps that we've made and use this to fuel your fire, because the ultimate prize is to win this. To me, the two prizes that I crave are a conference championship and a conference tournament championship, and I think they're equally meaningful. The second one probably has a bigger prize in the NCAA tournament, but the first one's harder to do. And to me, accomplishing one of those would be really, really significant.
Let's take one last one.
Obviously, today is tough to swallow, but when you think about what's ahead, is there maybe a potential postseason tournament ahead for you guys?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've spoken with some of them, and it's just a matter of figuring out what the right ones are. But we've had a good year, and I feel like our guys deserve an opportunity to keep playing. And so I certainly anticipate that coming.
Thank you.